Hey, welcome back to Rise and Grow Stories. I'm Tom, and today we're going to talk about something that quietly steals years from our lives: procrastination, that strange habit of not doing the things we actually want to do. You know the feeling. You have a task, you know it's important, you even want the result, but somehow you just don't start. Instead, you clean your desk, you make coffee, you scroll your phone, you watch just one more video. And later, you say to yourself, "What's wrong with me?" If that sounds like you, this episode is for you. Today, I want to tell you a story about someone called Mia and how she slowly learned to break the cycle of "I'll do it tomorrow." Mia was the kind of person everyone called smart but lazy. Her teachers said it, her friends joked about it, her family repeated it so often that she started to believe it. On paper, she had big dreams. She wanted to write a book someday, she wanted to get in shape, she wanted to change her job. But in reality, her days looked very different. She woke up, checked her phone, and spent 20 minutes in bed scrolling. Then she rushed through the morning, already late, already stressed. She promised herself, "Tonight after work, I'll finally start writing, no excuses." But after work, she was tired, so she sat on the couch just for a few minutes. She opened YouTube just to relax. 10 minutes, 20, 40, and suddenly it was almost midnight. The book? Not even one sentence. She would go to bed with a familiar mix of guilt and promises. "I'm so lazy. Why am I like this? Okay, tomorrow I'll be different. Tomorrow I'll start for real." But tomorrow looked exactly like today, and the day after, and the day after that. One Sunday afternoon, Mia sat at her desk and opened a document called Book Idea. It was empty, completely empty. She looked at the date it was created, 8 months ago. 8 months of "I'll start soon." 8 months of waiting for the perfect mood, the perfect energy, the perfect moment. She felt a heavy pressure in her chest. A little voice whispered, "Maybe they were right. Maybe I really am just lazy." She closed the laptop and put her head in her hands. After a few minutes, she opened her phone and, without thinking, typed, "How do I stop procrastinating?" into the search bar. She watched videos, she read articles, most of them said the same thing. Just do it. You need more discipline. Stop being lazy. Mia already knew that. Knowing didn't help. But then one sentence in a small article caught her eye. It said, "You're not lazy, you're just afraid, and your brain is trying to protect you." That idea felt strange. Protect her? Procrastination felt like the opposite of protection. So she read more. The article explained that when a task feels big, scary, or uncertain, the brain often chooses short-term comfort over long-term growth. The brain says, "This task might bring stress, failure, judgment. Let's avoid it. Let's choose something safe and easy. Scrolling, cleaning, snacking, watching." Each time you choose the easy thing, you get a tiny hit of relief. And your brain learns, this works. When I feel uncomfortable, I delay. I feel better. Let's do that again. That's how procrastination quietly becomes a habit. It's not because you're stupid or weak, it's because your brain is wired to protect you from pain. The problem is, it also protects you from growth. For the first time, Mia saw her procrastination not as proof that she was broken, but as a pattern her brain had learned. And if it was a pattern, that meant it could be changed. The article ended with a simple rule. If a task scares you, don't commit to finishing it. Commit to starting for 5 minutes. The 5-minute rule. Mia closed her eyes and thought, "Okay, fine, let's test this." She opened her laptop again, back to the empty book idea document. Her brain immediately shouted, "This is too big. You don't know where to begin. This will take forever." But she answered with a new voice, "Relax. I'm not writing a book right now. I'm just writing for 5 minutes." She set a timer on her phone. 5 minutes. She hit start. Her hands were shaking a little. She wrote the first sentence. This book is for people who feel stuck in the same day over and over. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't brilliant. But it existed. She kept writing. When the timer ended, she had one short paragraph. A small part of her wanted to stop. Okay, I did my 5 minutes. I'm done. But another part said, I'm already moving. Maybe I can do 5 more. In the end, she wrote for 20 minutes. Still not a whole book, but no longer nothing. For the rest of the day, she felt a quiet pride. Not because she finished, but because she started. Over the next weeks, Mia continued to experiment. She realized something important. Procrastination is not one big monster. It's 1,000 tiny moments of choosing comfort over progress. So she focused on those tiny moments. She created 3 simple habits. Habit 1, the 5-minute rule. Every time she noticed herself delaying something important, a workout, a message, a task, she said, okay, I don't have to finish it. I just have to do 5 honest minutes. Sometimes she stopped after 5. Sometimes 5 turned into 30. But the magic was this. She no longer needed to feel ready to start. Habit 2, make it smaller and visible. Before, her to-do list had big, vague monsters like work on the book, fix my life, get fit. Now, she forced herself to write tiny, clear steps. Write 3 sentences for chapter 1. Walk for 10 minutes after lunch. Send 1 email to ask about job opportunities. She put these on sticky notes and stuck them where she could see them, on her laptop, on the wall, near the kettle. When a task is small and visible, your brain feels less threatened, so it's easier to begin. Habit 3, 1 decision ahead. Mia noticed that she procrastinated the most when she had to make decisions in the moment. Should I write now or later? Do I exercise or watch something? Do I cook or order food? So the night before, she started making 1 decision ahead. She would write, tomorrow at 7 p.m., 5 minutes writing. Tomorrow after breakfast, 10 minutes walk. Then, when the time came, she didn't have to negotiate with herself. The decision was already made. If she really didn't want to do it, she could still say no. But most of the time, because the step was small and the time was clear, she just did it. Mia didn't transform overnight. She still had days where she wasted time, where she chose comfort, where she fell back into old habits. But something had changed. She no longer said, I'm just lazy. Instead, she said, I'm someone who used to procrastinate, and now I'm learning to act anyway. 6 months later, she didn't have a finished book, but she had 3 full chapters. She wasn't an athlete, but she could walk up the stairs without losing her breath. She wasn't in her dream job yet, but she had sent applications and gone to 2 interviews. Her life was still imperfect, but it was moving. And that's the real opposite of procrastination. Not perfection, movement. Maybe you see yourself in Mia. Maybe you have an empty book idea file in some corner of your life. A project you never started, a language you never learned, a business you only daydream about, a change you keep promising next month. If that's you, I want you to hear this. You're not broken. You're not useless. You're not just lazy. Your brain has simply learned the habit of choosing short-term comfort over long-term growth. And just like any habit, it can be rewritten. So here's your small challenge for today. 1. Think of 1 thing you've been procrastinating on. Not 10 things, just 1. 2. Apply the 5-minute rule. Decide you will work on it for 5 honest minutes. Set a timer. No distractions. Just 5. 3. After 5 minutes, ask, do I want to stop or can I do 5 more? That's it. No huge plan, no perfect system, just 5 minutes of real action. Because once you start, you're no longer a person who never begins. You're a person who begins. And that identity can change everything. Thank you for listening to Rise and Grow Stories. I'm Tom, and I'm proud of you for even thinking about breaking this cycle. If this episode helped you, share it with someone who keeps saying, I'll start tomorrow. Remember, you don't need a new life in one day. You just need one small, honest step that you actually take today. I'll see you in the next story.